In a grand, high-tech lecture hall at the Galactic Academy, a group of alien students sit, captivated by their professor's lecture. Professor Zarek, an 800-year-old historian, stands in front of a holographic display, projecting ancient images of a long-forgotten war. The students are curious, but Zarek's calm demeanor suggests this isn't just any lesson. He begins telling them about a time when an advanced alien race, the Othal Dominion, ruled over the entire galaxy with an iron fist. The Othal Dominion was unlike any empire the galaxy had ever seen. With their advanced technology, they enslaved entire species across countless worlds. Their greatest weapon? A powerful telepathic mind control system that made entire populations bend to their will. Species that fought back were crushed, and those who resisted were mentally dominated, forced to obey the Othal's every command. It was the perfect system, and for centuries, no one could stop it. But then, something unexpected happened. Professor Zarek pauses dramatically, and the students lean forward in their seats. The hologram shifts, showing Earth, a small, seemingly insignificant planet. Zarek's voice drops to a whisper as he reveals the unimaginable truth. Humans, he says slowly, were immune to their mind control. The room falls silent. The students exchange confused looks, unable to comprehend what they've just heard. How could this be? A simple species like humans, without any advanced technology or psychic abilities, resisting the mind control of the most powerful empire in the galaxy. It doesn't make sense. Zarek's face reflects his own disbelief as he continues. Humans' minds were different. They had a resistance, something no one expected. The students sit in stunned silence, the question echoing in all their minds, how could humans resist such power? The room is filled with tension, and the audience at home can almost feel the weight of the mystery hanging in the air. Zarek looks at them for a long moment before answering. The students sit in stunned silence, the question echoing in all their minds, how could humans resist such power? The room is filled with tension, and the audience at home can almost feel the weight of the mystery hanging in the air. Zarek looks at them for a long moment before answering. It was their unique neurological makeup, he says, something inherent in their brains. It made them immune to the Othal Dominion's mind control, a fact that changed the course of a war that had lasted 500,000 years. The students are still processing the information. Zarek, however, isn't finished. He switches the hologram to a vivid image of a massive battle. The alien soldiers of the Othal Dominion stand frozen in shock as the humans, the unexpected underdogs, begin fighting back. Despite all their technological superiority, Zarek explains, the Othal Dominion could not control the humans. It was this immunity that sparked their resistance. A resistance that led to the downfall of the Othal Dominion after 500,000 years of tyranny. The classroom is now filled with even more questions. How did humans discover this immunity? How did they use it to their advantage? And what role did this discovery play in one of the largest wars in galactic history? The suspense continues to build as the students hang on every word, eager to understand how humanity, seemingly insignificant in the grand scale of things, could topple such a powerful empire. As the camera focuses on Zarek's solemn face, he shifts the hologram once again, revealing the initial moments of the human resistance. The audience at home can feel the excitement growing as Zarek's voice takes on a darker tone. The Othal Dominion, with all their strength and technology, underestimated humanity. And that mistake, that underestimation, would cost them everything. This is the turning point. The students, and the audience, are now hooked. The mystery of how humanity could have had the power to defeat such a dominant force is a question they can't stop asking themselves. They need to know more. And Zarek, with a faint smile, hints at the answer as the screen shows the first human-led victory over the Othal forces. It's clear, the story of humanity's survival is just beginning. And the path to the final victory over the Othal Dominion is filled with shocking twists, incredible battles, and heroes no one could have predicted. As the holographic display flickers, Professor Zarik's voice shifts to a darker tone. He begins recounting the rise of the Othal Dominion, a ruthless empire that dominated the galaxy for centuries. The students watch, their eyes wide with disbelief, as ancient images of the Othal's conquests appear on the screen. The Othal Dominion was a fearsome alien race, known for their mind control technology. Their telepathic abilities were beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. With these powers, they were able to enslave entire species, bending their will to the Dominion's cause. No one could escape their influence. From the furthest planets in the galaxy to the most advanced civilizations, the Othal conquered them all, making them mindless puppets in their vast empire. The aliens didn't need armies or weapons, they simply controlled minds. Those who resisted were swiftly crushed by their telepathic power. The Othal Dominion's army wasn't just made of soldiers, they were made of people who had lost their will to the Othal's control. They couldn't think, act, or fight back. They were nothing more than extensions of the Dominion's will. However, one species remained a mystery to the Othal: humans. Humans were an anomaly. Unlike other species, they resisted the Othal's telepathic influence. No one could figure out why. Humans' minds were strong and unique, but the Othal Dominion had no understanding of what made them different. They dismissed humanity as insignificant, believing that eventually, they would be able to break them just as they had with every other species. Professor Zarik explains that the Othals first attempted to control humanity with their mind control technology. At first, they were confident. After all, they had subdued entire civilizations with ease. But when the Othals tried their power on humans, something unexpected happened: their telepathic abilities failed. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't control human minds. The professor's voice drops as he explains the turning point. Humans' minds were not like other species. They were resilient, able to resist mind control in a way no one could understand. His eyes glimmer as he continues: their brains had developed a unique neurological structure that made them immune to the Othal's telepathy. A mistake the Othals didn't see coming. The students sit in stunned silence, trying to process this new information. How could humans, who lacked the advanced technology of the Othal, have such a powerful defense? Zarik smiles faintly, knowing how hard it is for the students to comprehend. At first, the Othal generals thought it was a fluke. They thought maybe the humans were just lucky, or maybe their technology had failed. But they were wrong. The display shifts to show the Othal generals meeting in their war room, debating what to do. They could not understand why their mind control wasn't working on humans, and this confusion led them to make a fatal mistake. Instead of retreating or analyzing the situation further, they underestimated humanity. They saw humans as weak, primitive creatures who didn't pose a real threat. They continued their attack, determined to break the humans by force, not realizing that their control was useless against the very minds they tried to dominate. As the Othals pressed on, the humans began to realize their immunity was not just a defense, it was a weapon. With their minds free, they could think clearly and strategize, while the Othal Dominion's forces were tied down by their own mental control. The humans began fighting back in ways the Othals never anticipated, using guerrilla tactics, strategic intelligence, and sheer willpower to outsmart their technologically superior enemies. Zarik's voice takes on a somber tone. The Othal Dominion's failure to understand humanity's unique ability sealed their doom. They thought they could control humans as they had with every other species. But in their arrogance, they ignored the one thing that would lead to their downfall: the strength of the human spirit. The hologram fades to black as Zarik looks at his students, his eyes full of awe and respect for the humans who defied the odds. The students, too, are silent, their minds racing with the realization that humanity, once seen as insignificant, had set in motion the collapse of the Othal Dominion. As the Othal Dominion's forces approach Earth, the alien commanders are confident. They've conquered entire galaxies with ease, and Earth, a relatively unknown planet, seems like just another target. They assume that the humans, with their primitive technology and simple society, will be no match for the overwhelming power of the Othal fleet. The Othal Dominion has never encountered a species that could resist their telepathic control, so they assume this will be no different. The Othal fleet, made up of enormous warships and highly advanced technology, enters Earth's atmosphere. The humans are completely unaware of what's coming. The Othal Dominion believes that by simply using their mind control technology, they will easily bring the humans under their control, just as they did with countless other species. But as the first waves of telepathic power try to seize control of the human minds, something strange happens. The mind control system fails. A sense of confusion spreads through the Othal fleet. Their telepathic abilities, which have never failed them before, are useless against the humans. The Othal generals, surprised and frustrated, try to figure out why this is happening. The humans, however, are quickly realizing that they are immune to the Othal's control. This is the moment they discover their greatest advantage: their minds are free, and with this freedom, they can think, strategize, and fight back. The humans don't panic. They don't run. Instead, they quickly shift into action, surprising the Othal with their ingenuity and cleverness. The humans have no space fleets or advanced weaponry like the Othal, but what they do have is something much more powerful: resourcefulness and determination. They use guerrilla tactics and make use of the environment to their advantage. The battle begins as the humans deploy their secret weapon, cloaking devices. These devices, although primitive compared to Othal technology, allow the humans to hide their movements from the Othal sensors, making them invisible to the enemy. The Othal fleet, relying heavily on their technology, is caught completely off guard. They cannot track the humans, who move in the shadows, striking at the heart of the Othal fleet. The humans' small, hidden forces begin to pick off the Othal ships one by one, creating chaos and confusion in the Othal ranks. The humans use hit-and-run tactics, taking out key targets like the Othal's communication centers, weapon systems, and energy sources. Every time the Othal think they've pinned down the humans, they vanish, only to reappear in another location and strike again. Despite their superior numbers and technology, the Othal fleet begins to falter. They didn't expect to fight a war where the enemy is smarter and more tactical, rather than just relying on raw power. The humans are fighting a different kind of battle, one that the Othal are not prepared for. They begin to underestimate the humans even more, thinking their advanced ships and weapons will still give them the upper hand. But the humans are outthinking them at every turn. One of the most intense moments of the battle occurs when a group of human fighters, using cloaking technology, infiltrate the largest Othal warship. Inside, they sabotage the ship's power core, causing an explosion that takes out half of the Othal fleet in a single blow. The explosion shakes the skies above Earth, sending a shockwave that ripples across the battlefield. For the Othal, it's a crushing blow. The humans, with their clever tactics and newfound determination, are winning this battle. The Othal generals scramble to respond, but it's too late. The humans have already taken control of the battlefield. Their intelligence, agility, and will to survive have proven to be the ultimate weapon. The Battle of Earth ends with the humans having delivered a shocking defeat to the Othal Dominion, something no one thought possible. The Othal fleet retreats, leaving behind a shattered, but victorious Earth. As the smoke clears and the humans stand tall, they realize that this is just the beginning. The Othal Dominion may have underestimated them, but now they know that humanity is not a species to be ignored. This battle is the first step in a war that will determine the future of the galaxy, and the humans are ready for whatever comes next. The battle rages on, but the Othal Dominion is starting to realize something crucial: their mind control weapon is useless against humanity. For the first time in centuries, the Othal fleet is facing a species that can't be controlled by their telepathic powers. The Othal generals, who once believed they could subjugate any species with ease, are beginning to panic. Their weapons, once thought invincible, are no longer effective. As the Othel struggle to regain control, humanity's strategy begins to shine through. The humans have learned quickly, adapting to the new war and turning the tide in their favor. No longer fighting a losing battle, they begin to unleash their own advanced technologies that the Othel had never anticipated. One of the first weapons humanity deploys is the EMP, electromagnetic pulse, a devastating tool that disables the Othel's advanced systems. The Othel fleet, which relies heavily on its technology for communication, navigation, and combat, is thrown into chaos as their machines shut down. Ships that were once swift and powerful now drift helplessly in space, their engines and weapon systems disabled. The humans, on the other hand, have prepared for this moment. Their EMP devices are quick and efficient, leaving the Othel stunned and vulnerable. Counter-telepathic shields. These shields block the Othel's telepathic control, creating a barrier between the Othel and human minds. The shields work by scrambling the signals sent by the Othel, making it impossible for them to communicate mentally with their troops. Now, the Othel are not only physically vulnerable, they are mentally isolated as well. Their once unstoppable telepathy is reduced to nothing more than static. As the Othel fleet falls into disarray, the humans press their advantage. The battlefield becomes a chaotic mix of technology and strategy. The Othel's once imposing warships are now sitting ducks, while the humans deploy AI-controlled robots to fight on the ground and in space. These robots, though not as advanced as the Othels, are designed to complement human tactics. They work in sync with human soldiers, using brute force and precise movements to dismantle the Othel defenses. One of the most intense moments comes when a group of human soldiers, armed with advanced plasma rifles and guided by AI-controlled robots, storm an Othel command ship. The battle is fierce, with explosions ringing out and laser blasts lighting up the darkness of space. The humans' close-quarters combat skills are put to the test as they fight their way through the Othel's defenses, showing the Othel that despite their technological superiority, humans are not to be underestimated. The Othel, once confident in their ability to crush any opposition, now find themselves overwhelmed by the sheer force of humanity's will to survive. The humans fight with a determination that the Othel never saw coming. Each victory adds fuel to their morale, and the momentum shifts further in humanity's favor. The Othel generals, who once believed they could break humanity's spirit, now find themselves in a desperate fight to save their crumbling empire. Meanwhile, above Earth, the humans launch a daring orbital bombardment that decimates the Othel's remaining fleet. Human ships, now equipped with newly acquired Othel technology, strike with precision, targeting weak points in the Othel's ships. The Othel fleet, once a symbol of power, is now a scattered and broken force, retreating from the battlefield. The war, which seemed lost only days ago, has turned completely in humanity's favor. The Othel Dominion, unable to adapt to the humans' resilience and intelligence, is on the brink of defeat. And humanity, with its advanced technologies and undying will to survive, is preparing to take the final steps toward victory. As the war continues, humanity's victory becomes more certain. However, the cost of this victory is about to be felt deeply. The tide may have turned in their favor, but the loss of great heroes marks a painful chapter in the story. This is where the emotional core of the story comes into play, and the sacrifices of the brave human soldiers are truly felt. Bonner, the leader of the human resistance, has led his people through the darkest times. He is not just a soldier, he is a symbol of humanity's resilience. He's known for his fierce leadership, brilliant tactics, and unwavering determination. But in one of the final battles against the Othel Dominion, Bonner and his soldiers find themselves in a situation where survival is no longer an option. The Othel forces are closing in on a vital resistance base, and there's only one way to stop them from gaining the upper hand. Bonner knows that this may be his last stand, but he doesn't hesitate. He orders a final charge, a desperate push to buy enough time for the rest of humanity's forces to launch a decisive counterattack. With his team at his side, Bonner charges toward the Othel's strongest defense lines. In this intense battle, humanity's final hope rests on their sacrifice. As Bonner and his soldiers fight bravely, the scene is heart-wrenching. Soldiers, who have fought side by side for so long, are falling one by one. The sounds of explosions and blaster fire fill the air as Bonner leads his troops with unmatched courage. His leadership inspires everyone around him, but the cost is high. Each soldier's death is felt deeply, and the reader begins to feel the weight of the sacrifice. Bonner's final moments come as he single-handedly holds off an Othel assault long enough for his comrades to complete their mission. With a final, defiant shout, he sacrifices himself, detonating a last-ditch explosive device that cripples the Othel forces, ensuring humanity's victory. His death is not in vain, but it leaves a gaping hole in the hearts of those who fought alongside him. In the aftermath, as humanity celebrates its hard-won victory, there is a sense of bittersweet triumph. Zarek, the alien historian, reflects on Bonner's death. As a scholar who has studied many wars, he understands something that the Othel never did. It wasn't just technology or weaponry that led humanity to victory, it was their resilience, their refusal to back down, even in the face of certain death. Zarek, once skeptical of human strength, now admires it. The human spirit, the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good, proves to be the ultimate weapon. Zarek knows that no amount of advanced technology can replicate the courage and determination that humans displayed in their darkest hour. The Othel Dominion, for all their power, could never understand this. Their defeat wasn't just the result of superior weapons or clever tactics, it was the sheer strength of will that humanity brought to the battlefield. And in the end, that is what broke the Othel. As Zarek watches the humans mourn their fallen heroes, he knows that the true legacy of this war will be the story of human sacrifice, strength, and survival. The loss of leaders like Bonner is heartbreaking, but their courage has ensured that humanity's place in the galaxy is secure. In the end, the Othel may have been defeated, but it is the human spirit that has triumphed. The war that has ravaged the galaxy for centuries finally reaches its dramatic conclusion. The Othel Dominion, with all its advanced technology and telepathic mind control, has been defeated. The battle was fierce, but it was clear to all that it was not simply humanity's superior technology or weaponry that won the war. It was something far deeper, something the Othels had never understood, the power of the human spirit. The final push came from a united front. The human-led resistance coalition, formed after years of struggle, launched one last assault against the Othel Dominion's core stronghold. The Othel forces, once so confident in their superiority, were now in disarray. They couldn't comprehend how their mind control systems had failed. Their telepathic powers, which had once ruled the galaxy, were useless against the humans. As Bonner and his soldiers fight bravely, the scene is heart-wrenching. Soldiers, who have fought side by side for so long, are falling one by one. The sounds of explosions and blaster fire fill the air as Bonner leads his troops with unmatched courage. His leadership inspires everyone around him, but the cost is high. Each soldier's death is felt deeply, and the reader begins to feel the weight of the sacrifice. Bonner's final moments come as he single-handedly holds off an Othel assault long enough for his comrades to complete their mission. With a final, defiant shout, he sacrifices himself, detonating a last-ditch explosive device that cripples the Othel forces, ensuring humanity's victory. His death is not in vain, but it leaves a gaping hole in the hearts of those who fought alongside him. In the aftermath, as humanity celebrates its hard-won victory, there is a sense of bittersweet triumph. Zarek, the alien historian, reflects on Bonner's death. As a scholar who has studied many wars, he understands something that the Othel never did. It wasn't just technology or weaponry that led humanity to victory, it was their resilience, their refusal to back down, even in the face of certain death. Zarek, once skeptical of human strength, now admires it. The human spirit, the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good, proves to be the ultimate weapon. Zarek knows that no amount of advanced technology can replicate the courage and determination that humans displayed in their darkest hour. The Othel Dominion, for all their power, could never understand this. Their defeat wasn't just the result of superior weapons or clever tactics, it was the sheer strength of will that humanity brought to the battlefield. And in the end, that is what broke the Othel. As Zarek watches the humans mourn their fallen heroes, he knows that the true legacy of this war will be the story of human sacrifice, strength, and survival. The loss of leaders like Bonner is heartbreaking, but their courage has ensured that humanity's place in the galaxy is secure. In the end, the Othel may have been defeated, but it is the human spirit that has triumphed. The war that has ravaged the galaxy for centuries finally reaches its dramatic conclusion. The Othel Dominion, with all its advanced technology and telepathic mind control, has been defeated. The battle was fierce, but it was clear to all that it was not simply humanity's superior technology or weaponry that won the war. It was something far deeper, something the Othels had never understood, the power of the human spirit. The final push came from a united front. The human-led resistance coalition, formed after years of struggle, launched one last assault against the Othel Dominion's core stronghold. The Othel forces, once so confident in their superiority, were now in disarray. They couldn't comprehend how their mind control systems had failed. Their telepathic powers, which had once ruled the galaxy, were useless against the humans. The decisive blow was delivered not by a weapon, but by the strength of human unity and resilience. With Bonner's sacrifice still fresh in their minds, the humans and their newfound allies from various other species launched a massive offensive. The Othel Dominion's walls crumbled under the combined forces of the galaxy's free species, all united by the hope and leadership humanity had shown them. Zarek, who had once viewed humanity with skepticism, now stands in awe of their ability to unite others in the face of adversity. The Othel Dominion, which had controlled entire galaxies for centuries, finally fell to the very species it underestimated. The humans' victory is not just a victory for themselves, but for all the species that the Othel had enslaved over the millennia. In the aftermath of the battle, as the Othel forces retreat and the last remnants of their empire crumble, the galaxy begins to heal. The Human Resistance Coalition takes charge of rebuilding, not just their homeworlds but the entire galaxy. Species that had been under the Othel's control for thousands of years are now free to shape their futures without fear of oppression. A new era begins, one where collaboration and empathy guide the decisions of the galaxy. Professor Zarek, standing before his students in the Galactic Academy, reflects on the war. What you must understand, he tells them, is that humanity didn't fight this war just for their own survival. They fought for all of us, for every species that had been enslaved, for every world that had been taken. Humanity's victory wasn't achieved with weapons alone. It was their spirit, their empathy, and their unyielding belief in freedom that won the day. The students listen intently, their minds open to a truth they had never fully understood before. The Othel Dominion had relied on technology, on their superiority in science and power. But humanity, with its imperfections, had something far more valuable, the ability to care for others, to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. The strength of their emotions, the bonds between their people, and their refusal to accept defeat were what truly led them to victory. As Zarek finishes his lecture, he pauses and looks at the students. The Othel never understood that, and that's why they lost. And that, he says with a smile, is why we're all here today, free from their tyranny. The camera pans out, showing a future where humanity and its allies are rebuilding a galaxy that had once been ruled by fear. The last words of Zarek echo in the minds of the students and the readers. It was humanity's spirit, not their technology, that won the war.